Hello to my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I'm Peymon Mutahede, the president of Freedom Law School, which I started in 1996. And for over 30 years, I have not filed and paid any federal income or payroll taxes, and been teaching Americans like you to do the same legally and safely. Our website is freedomlawschool.org to help you live free now. In this presentation, I will cover the topic that's on top of many people's minds. Why President Trump cannot get rid of the federal income tax without Freedom Law School's help. Because Trump has been putting out these things on Truth Social, like this one that he put out there in April 27th. He said, when tariffs cut in, many people's income taxes will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated. Focus will be on people making less than $200,000 a year, okay? And also massive numbers of jobs are already being created with new plants and factories currently being built or planned, and that it will be a bonanza for America. The external revenue service is happening. So, what's here big? The big thing is focus to eliminate income taxes with a focus on people making under $200,000 a year, okay? And the external revenue service instead of the IRS is happening. Well, so many people think, okay, I don't have to do anything now. Trump can do it. He says he's going to do it. He wants to do it, so he's a doer. He must know it and be able to do it. Not so fast. He cannot do that without Freedom Law School's help. It's not to brag about us or put us up on a pedestal. That's not the issue. The issue is he doesn't know what we know, and you know, many of you know, to be able to do it without going through Congress. Because Congress makes laws in America. People remember that? Okay. See, a lot of people buy this idea that Trump, could be like a dictator, but he cannot. Even if he tried, he couldn't. Now that he wants to be a dictator, he cannot change the laws, and he cannot in any way go through Congress to do anything. You see, in 235 years on the Constitution, no president has been able to act autocratically or by himself, because America's savvy founders didn't leave any mechanism for them to do so. Okay? Forget about abolishing the Constitution. The president can't even amend it. Okay? So that's not something Trump can do. To give you further detail, let me remind you all from USA.gov, okay, about how laws are made. Trump cannot make any laws. All those you read are just wishful sentiments, and Congress will not work with them to get rid of the income tax, as you shall see right now, okay? Congress is the lawmaking branch of the federal government, and that's something that many people forget about that, okay? This shows you how a bill becomes a law. First, they got to produce a bill, to propose a law or change in a law, okay? So that's the first step, which is not a big deal, because bills can be introduced. They go to, before Congress. But here's the thing, okay? If the bill passes one body of Congress, that's like the House of Representatives, it goes to the other body to go through a similar process, research, discussion, changes, and voting. Once both bodies, the House and the Senate, vote to accept the bill, then they must work out the differences between the two versions, because oftentimes they're not the exact same, okay? Then both chambers vote on the same version of the bill again. If it passes or is ratified, they present it to the president, and then the president, after considering the bill, can approve the bill and sign it into law, okay? So Trump, again, cannot get rid of the income tax, as he tweeted out. I put it out there on Truth Social, okay, as much as he'd like to. He needs you, my friends. Yes, he needs you and me to help him make it happen, okay? So we'll talk about that shortly. But before I go on, let me share something else. Filibuster is a key thing, okay? But before I get to filibuster, okay, let me explain to you that in the House there's 220 Republicans and 213 Democrats. In the Senate, you have 53 Republicans and 45 Democrats, okay? The two independents are basically socialists, and they work with the Democrats, who are really socialists anyways, to begin with, okay? So the problem is that you got too many Democrats and Republicans who are against tariffs. Tariffs is going to be king ingredient of the getting rid of income tax. Okay? Here, in April, Senator McConnell joined Senators Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Rand Paul. Except Rand Paul, they're all rhinos. Rand Paul is a true libertarian in rejecting Trump's emergency declaration regarding his 25% tariffs on Canadian imports. Okay, those three senators started with the Democrats again on Wednesday. Okay, so you got to get through. You can't even get half the senators to approve of that with this situation. And if you look at it further, the filibuster makes it even worse. What's a filibuster? Well, it's a procedure in U.S. Senate that has increased dramatically its use in recent decades. Okay, so here's what the filibuster basically is. Once a bill goes to a vote to the Senate floor, because it wants the states to ratify it, it requires a simple majority of 51 votes to pass after the debate has ended. However, there is a catch. Before it can get to a vote, it actually takes 60 votes to call off a debate or filibuster. Okay, filibusters, somebody says, I object to this. So this is why, a 60-vote supermajority is now considered a de facto, practically a minimum for passing legislation in the Senate. So in the Senate, you need 60 votes. There's no way Trump is going to get 60 Democrat Republicans to say, get rid of income tax, bid tariffs, and other taxes on foreigners, which what he should be doing, and Freedom Law School can help him do exactly that, and he wants to do, okay? So, eventually, this will look like if he gets with Freedom Law School. Yes. Because all Trump has to do is what you will see right now that he doesn't know he can do. He can go and order, executive order, to put this on the front page of the IRS's website at irs.gov. Something like this. A message from United States President Donald Trump to the American people. Trump. American individuals and employers can stop filing, paying, and withholding federal income taxes. Okay? People of the 50 United States of America have never been liable to file or pay federal income and payroll taxes. Okay? Employees, you can take this notice to your employer to stop all federal income and payroll taxes being withheld from your paychecks. Employers, you can stop withholding federal income and payroll taxes from your employees' paychecks. Okay? For further legal details, click on the links below. Of course, he'll have that. View details if you're an employee, view details if you're an employer. So this is what he could do. He could write a letter to Congress before he does this. He said, look, I'm going to give you 90 days to do something about the income tax because it's been a deception, lie of the deep state recently discovered. He doesn't have to say Freedom Law School. That's okay. Not necessary. But the only one knowing about this and teaching it is Freedom Law School. So he's going to tell Congress, look, I'll give you 90 days, or let's say 120 days, whatever, several months, to look at these laws that are the laws as written by Congress that clearly show we've been ripped off by our own government, enslaved. I'm going to either, if you cannot show me I'm wrong, I'm going to stop the enforcement of income tax and payroll taxes. Show me where I'm wrong. You write the law, Congress. It is your laws that I am enforcing. So, if I'm going to execute those laws faithfully, you're the one that should correct me if I'm wrong about it. If you don't correct me, you need to come up with a plan to fund the federal government, cut spending, and bring revenue in. Okay, the ball is in the court of Congress, not the President Trump. It's not his fault. Anything goes wrong, it's Congress's fault for not acting. And Trump can tell American people, vote out these people who are not willing to stop the ripoff of you, the American people. By the way, Trump can and should and will propose taxing foreigners. I'm just going to give a few examples. Besides taxing tariffs, imports, he can tax immigrants. That's right. Immigrants can come to America, but guess what? You'll have a permanent resident green card, and you'll be on that basis for 20 years or 40 years or whatever, and you're going to pay income tax for the privilege of having become an American citizen. Until that time, you're considered a citizen of Washington, D.C. That's right. You're a D.C. citizen for legal purposes, for the privilege we gave you, and you pay income tax. 50% income tax. And guess what? They gladly will. Yes. You know, I go to beaches in Florida, and all the mates at the hotels were from Cuba, El Salvador, Mexico, some other foreign country, you know, because there's no jobs. People are starving. For them, they say, no problem. I'll pay 50% tax. And typically, they paid the smugglers $10,000 up front to get them to America, plus other costs oftentimes. Here, they don't have any upfront costs, just from application costs. Okay, let's say $500 or $1,000 to apply, and all you gotta do is just pay their share. The first generation can pay income tax. Now, immigrants are welcome in America because they're the ones that free for people that are already here. And that's the way it should be. Tax on imports. Tax on people who want to visit America. America is a Disneyland of the world. It's the most beautiful country, the biggest, that's most usable land and properties and all kind of goodies. And that people want to come visit us. You can tax the tourists. You can tax college, university students. Harvard, Yale, all these people. You don't go educate a foreigner. You go educate an American. You want to have a foreigner in your university? Guess what? You're going to pay a tax. Harvard and Yale. Oh, by the way, so will you, the student. You have to pay tax for that also. So all of these things. Oh, how about the fact that $5 million expedited citizenship, right? Millionaires of the world and billionaires will come to America. Okay, they might pay $5 million one time or $50 million. But guess what? As American, they become income tax free. Some of our France, Germany, Italy, China, all these other countries, they say, hey, I'm an American. And therefore, I'm subject to American tax laws, which is zero. All these ways of bringing tax money from foreigners can happen. But Congress cannot get those laws, do anything with Congress because he has a bare majority in the House. 220 Republicans to 13 Democrats. And with all the rhinos in Congress and Senate, there's nobody can do all that by himself. So what you want to do is support Trump in what his goal is. And that is what? Educate yourself why this is not a 10-4 income tax for you. It's a D.C. income tax. You're not from Washington, D.C. The 10-4 instructions tell you that. The Code of Federal Regulations tell you that U.S. citizens got to pay income tax. And U.S. citizens are who? For tax purposes, these are D.C. citizens. Tax law defines the United States and state as D.C. Those are the people that got to pay income tax, not you or me, the people of the 50 states. And the Supreme Court has declared clearly in tax cases like this one in 1917, when it comes to tax law, there is no assuming taxes exist. The burden of proof is on the government to clearly have the law show what's taxed. And if it's not there clearly that you've been taxed, it does not apply to you, and any doubt goes most strongly against the government's power to tax. And we have these petitions that outline all this for Congress, okay, that you should have written already for free on our website, freedomlawschool.org. Expose the swamp. Tell the swamp about it. The law is written in there, exact verbatim from government's own official legal websites. And at the end of these petitions, guess what? Not only the law is listed at the end of them, like you see right here, but also attached. So there's no question. This is a law that Congress must act on. You need to do your part, writing your Congress members, educate them, demand that they take action, demand that they follow the law that Congress has written. I didn't write the law. Congress written it. So you gotta keep putting pressure on congressmen to follow and enforce the law that they have passed. It's already there. And then on top of that, people, we got to go and educate people that, look, you got to stop putting the rope around your neck with signing those 1040 confession trap forms. That is not what you want to do, because you confess you owe the IRS money under oath. That's how the IRS comes and rapes you. Okay? This is something you do to yourself when you sign under oath under penalty of perjury that you owe the IRS on those 1040 forms. You can stop the automatic withholding from your paycheck for free on our website. Yes, go here on the right, okay? Right here, the menu comes up. The third item is free yourself from tax withholding. Click on that, and instructions are there for you for free to stop income tax stealing by your employee from out of your paycheck. You can do that yourself, folks, very easily. It's there for free. But most importantly, people, we need you. We need you to reawaken in yourself or nurture that America's founding fathers attitude that you have. And get together with them. Get together with each other like they did to restore freedom. Stop paying income taxes and payroll taxes, FICA, Social Security taxes, that you never legally owed in the first place. You stop feeding the swamp. Instead, take a portion of that and put that in the freedom movement. That's what our Restore Freedom Plan is all about restoring freedom. That's what the Founding Fathers did, but they put their lives, their honor, and sacred honor, and everything fortune on the line. But you don't have to do that at all. You have our guarantee that you'll be protected from the IRS 100% if you become part of the solution and contribute to that Restore Freedom Plan. Okay? And then the beautiful part is you can become a modern-day Paul Revere and arm your fellow Americans, family members, co-workers, friends, with the truth, with the law, to restore America and American families to their greatness, okay? By just telling them, educating them, okay? That's all you got to do. Okay? And once you do that, folks, our movement is unstoppable. Love and spread the truth. And our message will get to Trump as well. I'm going to put together this summer a special petition for all of you to send to Donald Trump and ask him to work with Freedom Law School to enforce the income tax law as written now and eliminate the misapplication of the federal income and payroll taxes to the people of the 50 states who never owed the federal income and payroll taxes to begin with. So meanwhile, I invite you to join hands with each other. Yes, all of you come together. Rather than being alone by yourself, come together. You're much more powerful as a movement. That's what the Founding Fathers did. To reach out to Donald Trump, educate and support him, drain the swamp, and restore freedom in America once again with no more income taxes. Okay? And America can have a glorious, who knows, 80 years again. The same way President Jackson in 1833 killed the privately owned Second Bank of the United States. And that ushered in 80 years of America not having a central bank that makes money out of thin air, privately owned central bank, like we have in Federal Reserve, without that for 80 years. So this is how Trump can truly make America great again. And this is your opportunity, my friend, to be involved with all this. My job is to inform and empower you. Your job is to educate yourself. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org. Go through the 7 steps to free yourself of the IRS. As you drive around, play our videos. You go to work, go back home, play our videos. Watch the road while you listen, and then when you go to work, watch them on your smartphone again or computer. Go home, again, watch the videos this time as they play, and know, wow, I know what's going on. I want to be free, and I want to take part in this peaceful restoration of America to greatness once again. So with that, I give you my love, and I wish all of you curiosity to know the truth, love of the truth, so you can enlighten and empower yourself to be free with prosperity and joy, with you and family in peace. All right, everybody. I'm now going to answer any questions you guys have because I charge normally $1,000 an hour for my one-on-one private consultations. That's how busy I am. I don't want to charge that from you. I want to help as many of you for free every Tuesday night on the Freedom Hour. That is why I have this question and answer sessions for you to get your questions answered. The number to call, you see it on the screen, okay, is 424-552-1299. Press 1, and you'll be the next person to get your question answered. Again, dial 424-552-1299. Then you press 1 on your telephone keypad, and you're going to be the next person to get your question answered. I don't see anybody on the Freedom Hour right now with a question. So the board is open. Unless somebody calls in the next few minutes, guess what? I'll be out of here. I'm going to spend time with my family, okay? So this is your chance to do that. By the way, we have events coming up. I'll show you guys while you guys call in with questions. I'm going to be at the Bitcoin 2025 event in Las Vegas, May 27th to 29th in Las Vegas, okay? So that's on our website. Click on that. If you're anywhere close to the West Coast, you want to be at this Bitcoin event. By the way, I'm all for crypto. Freedom also accepts crypto. I recommend you look into crypto. Go online and YouTube, type in Bitcoin for Dummies if you have to. He will do a great job of educating you about Bitcoin and crypto to see, oh, I see it's the money of the future, even better than gold. So that's your homework I gave you tonight to do. So with that, We do have a caller from area code 508. All right, my friend from area code 508, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, Peymon. It's Winter. We have spoken a couple of times in recent weeks, and I'm happy to be on the show with you again. Thank you for all that you do.
You're welcome.
And I'm excited to be the first caller. God bless you. And so I think it was last week that I was listening, and towards the end of the show, someone called in, a gentleman called in, and he was asking about like your record of your clients never going to prison or getting in trouble at all. I'm not sure if you recall that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. And yeah, it was towards the end of the show, and then you said something, and that was a little disheartening for me. You said what I understood was that, you know, like we had Freedom Law School. You said there were a few of your members that actually got into some kind of trouble with the tax people. I'm not even sure what to call them, but that they were actually filers, that they had not filed for a few years, and then they came after them. So your comment last week made it sound like they were filers, they stopped filing, and then the IRS or the state came after them. Could you elaborate on that, please? Because it made it sound like, okay, I've been so my personal circumstances, I've been a filer all my life, and this is the first year that I've not filed and don't intend to file again at the federal level.
Let me clarify for you. I'll clarify for you.
Okay, please.
Okay, a guy with the most famous case is Richard Grant. He stopped filing, paying income tax with other people, other methods. Came with Freedom Law School for a few years. The IRS came after him criminally when he got charged. Him and his attorney did not work with me. They did their own thing, and rather than relying on material that petitioned the Congress we had prepared for him, they had him rely on the things he had done with the other organization, which were not good. So he went to prison. Had he worked with me, him as lawyer? I want to get a different lawyer for him. He wouldn't do that. I said, no, I want to get this lawyer of my own. Okay, you can do that, but have him work with me. He didn't work with me. I knew the Richard Grant. Okay? That's the most famous case. Now, people do come to me, okay, and they have stopped filing income tax on their own years ago, or they filed tax returns on their own years ago. So when they become Freedom Law School students, they become Freedom Law School students. But I'm not a magician to get them out of any trouble when the previous years they had filed or not filed without Freedom Law School. That's what I was referring to. In other words, these people are Freedom Law School students, but the trouble they had is for the years before they came to Freedom Law School, whether they filed or not.
Okay, so let me ask you a clarifying question then. So, for what has your experience been for the average citizen who filed their taxes?
Be close to the microphone. I can barely hear you. Get close to the microphone, please.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
I guess so. Is it better? Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's your experience been, Peymon, for the average citizen who filed their taxes all their life and then they stopped, right? So, like they sent the petitions. Oh, that's another question I have. They sent the petitions to their representatives as instructed by you, and then they just stopped filing. And what has the experience been? What is your experience?
The IRS leaves them. Well, before 2016, for decades, IRS sometimes would come after them, leave a lot of them alone. By 2016, they stopped. Come after non-filers, period. They'll leave you alone. Now, late last year and early this year, I started seeing just a very few non-filers. I send them tax proposal letters called the Notice of Deficiency. After all these years, because I've been harping to American people that, look, IRS is a big Wizard of Oz. They're leaving you alone as non-filer. IRS gave the middle finger to U.S. Treasury auditors who said you cannot leave non-filers alone back in 2017. IRS did give the middle finger to the auditors. They said, no, we're going to leave non-filers alone because you don't have enough resources. Now the IRS recognizes they have the existential problem because Freedom Law School is waking up the masses. They said, we got to at least try and do a little bit of a non-file. So I saw a very few small in one of these cases. So it's trying to, a little feebly, a little bit, trying to come after a few non-filers. But so what? It doesn't matter. The fact is, if we get ourselves together, hundreds and thousands together, and everybody pitches into our fund, Restore Freedom Plan Fund, if 1 or 2 or 5 people that come after, okay, and we go end up losing to the crooked judges. Okay, so they take some of the money. No problem. We have everybody else pitch into the Restore Freedom Plan. With everybody else's money, we can reimburse these people in full. They don't get hurt at all. The plan works. We outnumber them. We're going to play where our strengths are. We outnumber them. Okay, no matter how crooked these judges may be. Okay, that's why getting together works, because that is what the Founding Fathers did, and that's what worked for them, and will work for us again as well.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay. Yes. So someone else also last week said something about, asked you about petitions. So we file the petitions with our representatives, and is that a one and done, or does it need to be done?
One and done.
Again?
One and done.
One and done.
Is that great? One time you take a stand, make your position known, you make a record of it, you keep a copy of your petitions with certified mail of proof on your computer and on paper in hand. Okay, if you're a Restore Freedom Plan member, we do it all for you, and we keep a copy here as well, and you're good. That's why we're doing one for income taxes, payroll taxes, withholding, 1099 from all, whether you're going to be employer down the road, doesn't matter. You're covered for all that scam. You'll be free.
Okay, so that's the one and done.
Yep.
Okay, and then my last question for tonight, Peymon, is what have you found? What is your experience with your students who file state but not federal? Is the filing the state but not the federal a trigger? Do the states who that are militant? I'm in Massachusetts. So, do the states that are militant, are they militant about, getting a federal form? What's your experience been?
They pay state income tax if they choose, and that's the end of it. The states do not send anything to the IRS to come after people. They don't do that kind of cooperation. They technically could, but they practically do not do that.
Okay. And so, I'm going to file Massachusetts. I'm going to file Massachusetts. And so, do you have any thoughts about any state? I know you don't have a lot of experience with Massachusetts. With any state actually requiring the federal form, since the state does piggyback on the feds?
Well, like California, for example, to file online, they want to copy your federal return, but if you do it by paper, they don't. So.
Okay, so I'm going to file by paper.
By paper,
is my intention.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think that's it for me tonight, Peymon. Thank you. Nice to talk to you again.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
you. Good
and your organization.
What was your name again?
Okay. This is Winter.
Winter. Okay, very good, Winter. Thank you for calling back in. I appreciate you asking very good questions that deserve more discussion and for everybody to know and understand. So Thank you for giving me the opportunity to
Okay.
do that, Winter, okay?
My pleasure, and thank you. God bless you, Peymon.
You're welcome. God bless you. We have 2 callers right now coming up from area code
Thank you.
410. You're welcome. And from area code 818. So 410 caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then give us your question next.
Hi, this is Corey from Maryland. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you. I was fired in 2021 for refusing the vax mandate, and I don't remember how I heard about you, but it was like around 2020, I think. Anyway, I followed the directions on your website, and I have been tax-free ever since. And I just want to say thank you so much. And, you know, I've talked in the chat many times in previous, episodes, but I never really called in live, and I just wanted to personally thank you. I've thanked you and your team in the chat a bunch of times. So, you know, I just wanted to give you a little, I guess, gratification. You know, something, I see that smile, I like it. And that's, you know, you've made me feel good. I want to make you feel good. And, you know, I want to let other people that are watching and listening know, don't be scared. Just do it. Follow the instructions. Do it. And live free. You know, stop hanging yourself. And especially after being fired in 2021, like, you know, I'm like, I'm done with the system. The system, you know, really screwed me, and so I'm not going to support it. And I think that's probably about all I have to say.
Thank you, Corey, for taking the courageous stand for truth and what's right and your rights, my friend. I wish more Americans would be like you, taking a stand for the right thing for you and your family in America. And guess what? People like Corey are getting vindicated for standing up for the truth and not getting a job. In military, they're giving all those people that fired illegally, they're giving them, you know, having them coming back with apology. That the Biden socialist communist Satanists should never have fired in the first place. So thank you for your support, Corey. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your acknowledgement, and hopefully you can share with other people the good news, and other people can choose like you to make the free agency choice of choosing truth and freedom over ignorance and slavery, which they want us to be under.
Well, thank you, and God bless you. And like I said, I just wanted to call in and let you know that you're making an impact. It made a definite impact on me. Unfortunately, it was a great job. I made a lot of money. It was a good paying job. I haven't made that kind of money since. I'm kind of doing my own thing now, but at least I'm not being ripped off and paying that, that tax. And so that does, of course, help. Even though I'm not making the same amount, it helps boost it up a little bit. But
and you're not dead.
Yeah,
you're not dead for taking a jab. Perhaps you could have been dead had you taken a jab or disabled severely. You know, let's not take that for granted. You made a right choice. You know, and so it definitely made a right choice for all the long-term benefit of yourself and your family, for sure. So, Corey, good job, my friend. Once again, thank you.
Amen.
For calling, brother.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
God bless you too, my friend. Thank you for your support.
Take care.
And courage, my friend. Thank you. And then let's go now. We have 3 people on the call. We need to get the question and answer. 818 area code, 501 area code, and 503 area code callers. 818 area code caller, you're next. Give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
My name's Edmund. I've called before. And Kim Iverson is how I heard about you.
Very good. And how may I help you?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I followed everything that you've mentioned here, and Winter mentioned about being afraid and all that stuff. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm just coming out to say that there's nothing to be afraid of. And also, Corey did the same thing. My job wanted to fire me, mandated a jab. I didn't take it. None of my family members took it. And I said, you know what? I'd rather live free, comfortably, and not take some foreign object in my body. And I refused to it. And I worked for a big city local government, and I fought against it. They didn't come after me. I still have my job, good paying job, but I'm come from a California communist socialist state here that eventually I'm going to move. Kim did also. She moved to Idaho. I never thought she would move. You even asked, why don't you move? She said she couldn't, and she ended up moving. And that's what's going to happen to states like this.
Very good.
I'm not afraid at all.
Good.
I would actually love to get called and go into court and learn and show them what the truth is, and let those jurors see what kind of corrupt place that we're trying to avoid. But Peymon, I really appreciate everything you're doing. Everyone that's listening, do everything he says. Listen to the videos, and I've done it over and over and over again, and it'll sink. Perfect proof of it. It's my first year not filing, and I appreciate you so much. God bless you.
You're welcome. Thank you. By the way, let me suggest you start teaching your kids as middle schoolers and teenagers. Start about that age to watch the videos. Don't wait until they go to college, become communists with the brainwashing of universities. Okay, start your kids in this freedom stuff at middle school. They read and write comfortably. They can understand this stuff. Homeschool them, even though they may go to a private or public school. Okay, so educate your children,
and
folks. They're the future about all this.
One more thing I wanted to tell Corey is, like, I have 2 kids that were in school, and they never ever got sick because of this stupid jab.
Yep, because they don't get the jab. That weakens their immune
all
system.
their friends getting sick constantly. My boys are not.
Exactly.
Go figure.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Edmund, for being an enlightened person who seeks the truth, and obviously the truth shall and has set you free, my friend. Thank you for calling, Edmund. I appreciate you. Let's go to the 501 caller, then 503 caller, and a 231 caller after that. Area code 501, you're live. Give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hello?
Yes, what's your name?
Hello. Rhonda.
Okay. And how did you hear about Freedom Law School, Rhonda?
Lee Merritt Program, the Medical Rebel.
Very good. And how may I help you?
Well, my question is, what is the plan? I know you're going to retire someday. The plan for the future, and how can someone that is a member of the law school have assurance there will be enough funds to cover future lawsuits that may come after you're gone?
Well, very good question. Very valid question, okay? I'm 62 years old, and I was born and raised in a family where my father taught me, Peymon, to seek knowledge always and educate me about freedom and health. So I've always been into natural health from the get-go. Okay, I got to Western Enterprise Foundation, Western Enterprise, what they call a lot of people keto, carnivore, primal diets are all really Western Enterprise, basically, and to be maybe healthy. And so I'm in good health. And if you take care of yourself, get some good health, good food, nutrient-dense animal foods. Okay, if you get rest, sleep, some form of activity, movement, exercise. Okay, and avoid all the chemical garbage, processed foods out there, crackers, pretzels, Cheetos, spaghettis, breads, sugars, chemicals in the food. There's no reason why you can't live a long life, and I plan to. Number 2, I do not plan to retire. I plan as I get older, perhaps to work less hours, spend more time with the grandchildren, yes. But I love what I do. Why would I quit? Okay? I keep it until the day I die. That's the way it should be. But you ask a fair question also. Well, okay, Peymon, eventually one day you're going to die. Okay, come on, we all go, of course. Well, I've made plans that in case something happens to me, other people will take over, but I'll not publicize them. Because the Irish would want to know about those. Irish would want to know who that is and all that stuff. So for the sake of yourselves, I don't let them know about that. Also, where I have the funds is not someplace that the government's going to know. If I announce it, they know what it is. They could try to potentially mess with it, and therefore perhaps not be there. So I take care of those things in a private, safe places. The funds are there and will be there for you. But let me tell you something about my background. I went to the University of California, and my major was economics, finance, and marketing, and communication. I did real estate home loans in college, insurance and financial planning, and even out of college for several years. Over 6 years, I did financial planning, insurance, and investments. So I know about investments, how to save money, how to set money aside like an insurance company does. In case of an accident happens, you have enough to pay that one person with an accident, or they'll die or whatever. Same principles apply here too. So I know how to apply those principles to here also. And so it's not a problem, but I'm afraid I cannot publicize those things because that'll be one of the worst things I could do to give information to our enemies about the we operate. Washington, he didn't give his plans to his enemies. He kept them close at hand, and the troops only needed to do enough to do the job that they got to do, and all they need to know was they had a leader that's for them, for real, standing tall and strong, and will guide them with the right conscience and right intelligence and gifts to protect them and give them the best chance of winning this quest for freedom. And I'm trying to do the same thing here, applying those principles to the way I run Freedom Law School. All these things that you mentioned are being planned out, but without publicizing it to our enemies. Does that help you a little bit, Rhonda?
Well, my concern is those younger than me that join, like my children, and then after we are long gone, will there still be a Freedom Law School, and will somebody be coming after them that cannot help them, and they've been paying in all these decades and not have the help that they were promised?
Well, first of all, I'm hoping to get with Donald Trump, and together we can get rid of the income tax before his 4-year term is up. We will not need the Restore Freedom Plan, because we finally got a president of the people, by the people, for the people. Okay, I mean the greatest presidents we had were back like way back early in 1700s, like Jefferson, Jackson. Okay, and we had some good presidents in the late 1800s, early 1900s, but since like Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, they've all been crooks, and some of them have been kind of dupes. Like I don't think Carter, Reagan, or Nixon were crooks. Okay, they were not enlightened, but they were not crooks like Johnson and FDR and Clinton and Obama. Biden, they're all a bunch of crooks. Okay, we have actually a good president like Jackson. So I hope to be able to disband Restore Freedom Plan, because we won't need it. If I can't get to Trump, if more people join us, give us the funding, supporting, we won't need it. I don't want it to be a lifetime thing that goes on for decades and decades. I've already fought this battle for over 30 years, since 1992. I want to see the fruits of my labor while I'm still alive. So I don't think it'll take that long, but I got plans in case it takes longer. Other people will be. I'm training other people besides me to take my place.
Well, nobody can take your place.
I don't know about that.
And that's my problem.
No. Listen, the God,
you have lived through it, and you know it well.
Thank you. But I'm training other people to know it as well. Now, they may not be as quite as good as me, perhaps, and make it grow like I have, but to maintain and take care of our existing people, that's easy. Number one, to live 99.9% of Americans are doing fine alone anyways. Okay? I mean, literally anybody out there. You could go out there, educate Americans, IRS is leaving non-filers alone. There's no law requiring to file income tax. Let's get together, start a pool of funds that you run, and if they come after one of you out of 1,000, no problem. The other 999 will take care of that one guy that the IRS comes after. Any of you can do that.
So
What the challenge is that that people would not trust you without the record that I have of finding these crooks for over 30 years. That's the difference. Me, the people, bottom line is, at some point, you got to be able to trust me like we trusted Ron Paul. Congressman Paul ran for Congress, and a lot of people had never heard of the guy. But they looked into him, they realized, wow, this guy's a record of honesty, integrity for decades. And they came to his side because he had a record. And that's what I got to bring you guys.
Yeah.
My record of honesty, integrity, find the crooks, for a long time. So I appreciate your concerns.
Well,
around honesty, that's the best answer I got to give
honesty, you are well educated, and I can tell you know, but the future is the thing that I'm afraid to steer people not knowing who will take over when you're gone. Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Rhonda.
And for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for your love and your support. I love you too, and I appreciate you taking part in this glorious movement that America be free.
Yes.
Same as Soviet Union collapsed, this empire will collapse and we'll have the constitutional republic in America once again before the end of Donald Trump's term. That is my goal, to get it within. Because without income tax, guess what, everybody? The whole system will just come down to expose how corrupt they are, they have been. I mean, American people are just starting to see how bad it is with Doge. But it's going to get more fun. And eventually, hopefully, we can tackle on the head of the beast, the Federal Reserve, privately and cartel banksters as well. So thank you, Rhonda, for your love and support. We have now 503 area code caller. We have a 231 area code caller. And I think that's it for right now, right? Okay. 503 area code caller, you're live. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, my name is Bill, and I heard about Freedom Law School from the Real Nagas podcast.
What podcast?
Real Nagas. R-E-E-L, Nagas.
How do you spell Nagas?
N-A-G-A-S.
Okay. We got to check those guys out there. Know about those guys. Real Nagas broadcast. Very good. Right now, guys, we're going to get in touch with those guys. And spell out your first name, please.
The first name is Roosevelt. R-O-O-S-E-V-E-L-T.
Very good, Roosevelt. I'm yours, brother. What is on your mind?
Okay, so I've only watched one of your videos so far, so I'm going to eventually watch all 7 of them. But I have a question. I don't know if it's answered one of your videos or not, but if I'm buying a house or attempting to buy a house, get a loan from a bank, don't questions come up for taxes? Or do they want to see tax filings? And if I successfully stop filing taxes, like through your program through Freedom Law School, then will that be a problem for me, or is there a way around that, or there's nothing I really need to do about that?
Well, no, you can get a home loan without a bank loan requiring your tax return. There's always been, for at least 40 years that I know of, lenders that lend to business owners and others that do not have W-2 or a paycheck, and they have, income other than it's not easily shown by a third-party payer without a tax return, using bank deposits mainly. That's always been possible. In fact, I have a video on that issue on our social media channels like YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. And but right now is not the time to buy real estate. This is the time to get rid of your real estate. A great recession is coming. Bad economy is coming, my friend.
Okay, yeah, I'm a figures off from buying any real estate, but I just had that question. I was curious about it, so that's also. But first, I want to get through this process, the American Freedom Law School, and successfully stop paying this federal income tax first. So, all right, I appreciate you, and I thank you for answering my question. I will check out your videos on that as well.
You're welcome. By the way, what's Knockoff's broadcast? What platform did you watch them at? Rumble, YouTube, where they at?
YouTube.
On YouTube. Check it out, guys. Would you please see what it is? I gotta check out those guys and thank him for putting our videos out there on the channel. You all welcome to put our information on your social media pages, on video platforms. Text them to your friends, email them. We give you our brochures, Restore Freedom, for free. Call us. We'll mail you these Restore Freedom brochures that educates people that no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay federal income and payroll taxes. Our phone number is there. Our website is there. You open inside. They see 7 steps to free themselves of the IRS, based upon the government's official legal websites. You put in this space in the white at the bottom left, your name and phone number, or the private number we'll give you. And when people join, we'll pay you. We'll love to pay you cash in the mail or crypto for having other people joining our Restore Freedom plan to restore freedom in America once again. So thank you. No charges. Call us 813-444-4800. 813-444-4800. We'll get these brochures out there. But thank you, Real Knockoffs, for getting us out there and introducing Roosevelt to us. We have one more call from America 231. Before we get to him, though, the number on the screen, if you have a question, is right here. Call 424-552-1299. And your telephone keypad, you press 1, and then you be on the call. The number again is 424-552-1299, and then press 1 on your keypad, and you'll be next after 231 area code caller. You're live. My friend, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, my name is Jacob, and I found out about you guys through a coworker of mine whose dad had considered using you guys. I thought he had used you guys, but turns out he was just thinking about it.
Very good. And how may I help you, Jacob?
So I've got a couple questions. I am a newly married with an expecting child on the way, and I just started my own business, and I am convinced. I've watched, I think, all of your videos that you have on your website and a whole bunch of them on YouTube and stuff on there as well. I'm quite convinced that there is no need for me to pay income taxes. It's not that. But my wife has concerns, which I do too. Just wondering, well, a couple of things, but one, how can you, because on your website it says you guys will reimburse any losses. So, if you guys happen to lose in court, you would reimburse any losses. And you can guarantee no jail time. Mm-hmm. Just wondering how, because I understand that the IRS obviously doesn't want to put you in jail because they make no money off of you if they put you in jail. But how can you guarantee that there's no jail time?
That is a very good point. You said you see my videos. You need to focus on step 5 videos on our website. Okay, you go to start the 7 steps. You got to go down to step 5. That's where I cover the petitions to Congress, and that helps you to live free. Okay, see, I got on my screen right now, question authority. Write your lawmakers, Congress members. File and pay income taxes only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay income taxes. That's how you can safely stop paying income tax. The video on step 5, it's what? Why you will not go to prison. It covers that issue in more detail. You go continue step 5. I have another video on this topic, how the petitions to Congress stop our government from wanting to come after you. It will not come after you. You will not go to tax prison if you stop filing and send a petition to your Congress members. Now I'm going to give you a little quick lesson on that while we at it. You go to the bottom of that page. You see 3 petitions. One on individual income taxes on the left. In the center bottom, employment taxes. On the right bottom, self-employment taxes and 1099s. Let's go to the married one for individual income taxes right now. Take a look at that, okay? These petitions, as you see, they are free. You can do it yourself. All the Restore Freedom Plan members will do it for you, okay? You fill the name of the congressman, and it's titled Justification for Congressional Investigation of Unlawful Collection of Individual Income Taxes. In the petitions, the law is spelled out how they deceived us to file and pay federal income taxes we never legally owed. So after many pages of this petition, spelling out the law clearly and fully, okay, at the end of the petition, there's a very key language in there that's important. I'll read for you. We believe every person should pay their fair share of income taxes according to the law. So here you're showing your willingness to pay taxes if there's a law that requires you to pay income taxes. Okay? And you tell them, look, I showed you the average American in 50 states is not required to file and pay income taxes. And I'm telling you, this is our self-determination letter that of our income taxes is 0. Okay? We are not liable to pay federal income tax. You're open about it. Straight up. But with good intent that I want to pay my fair share if I'm wrong about this stuff. So basically you tell them, look, if I'm wrong about all these laws, everything you're saying, and I'm wrong, let me know. Show it to me, and we will gladly pay all taxes due and will consider such payment to be our fair share. So here's your good faith honesty. Okay? In tax law, the element of willfulness is important. They got to prove your bad intent. That's right. The government has to prove your bad intent. But when you say in your letters, look, I'll pay my fair share of taxes. If I'm wrong, show me, and have the law attached, okay, and quote it. From the U.S. government's own official legal websites, I'll pay my fair share. They never correct you, and you keep a record of you be asking. That's proof of your innocence, and they cannot prove to 12 citizens in a jury that you knew and believed you were required to file and pay federal income taxes, but despite knowing and believing you have to by law to file and pay federal income taxes, you chose not to pay. Because it's very clear you have a record that no, you are based upon the U.S. Supreme Court, federal tax law and regulations and Constitution saying I'm not required to file income tax. Here's attached. They'll never, ever want to even take you to a trial because they know that will blow up in their face. When the jury sees the law, your petitions, they're going to say, what? Not only he's innocent, we've been ripped off also by the deep state. Yes, and they're going to join our cause after acquitting you, after showing you're not guilty. So no, don't worry about it. This is how you're going to be protected. And then the lawyers, I'll pay the lawyers and work with their lawyers, make sure you're properly defended in case they're dumb enough to want to come after you, try to put you on trial for not having filed and paid income taxes. Myself, for over 30 years, I've openly not filed and paid income taxes and teaching Americans to do the same for over 30 years. I've been under criminal investigation 3 times. Back in 1994, back in early 2000 years, I know that, 2006, I know, and right now, guess what? They never ever been able to indict me, to put me in trial, because they can't win a jury trial, and they know that. My student, my most famous student, some of you have known of his name, is Joe Bannister, okay? His website is agentfortruth.com. You gotta go check it out. This guy was a gun-carrying IRS special agent with the IRS's Criminal Investigation Division. He became my student back in 1997. We left him in 1999 after they could not refute his book that exposed income tax fraud. They put Joe Bannister on trial to silence him. But guess what? They had not charged him for not having filed or paid federal income taxes because they know they'll lose. They tried some other way, hook him up with somebody else named Al Thompson, a crazy wacko guy in a conspiracy charge, and he won the case without ever testifying. And they never charged him with not filing and paying income taxes because he made a record of why he stopped filing and paying income taxes that the jury will get to see, and they don't want to do that. That's the beauty of America, people. It's not like Iran, where I came from, or the most of the world does not have a jury trial. Nowhere has such a vibrant jury system like America. You don't get to be judged by some crooked judge or magistrate in Germany or France or England or Canada without a jury trial. Yeah, those countries are becoming socialist. Western Europe, where common law and jury trial came from. America, we don't have a criminal trial with the government paid biased judge. No. 12 regular Americans get to evaluate everything and get the judge, and they say you're innocent. That's final. So does that help answer your question better, Jacob?
Yes, it does. I hadn't thought about that, of how Step 5 would affect how they can only get you for tax fraud or tax evasion based on intent, and if you have in writing that you would gladly pay it if necessary, then obviously they can't get you for intent of evading or fraudulating taxes that you believe you owe if you obviously state in writing that you don't believe that you owe it. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. So then my next question would be, so I know of one person personally who does not file or pay state or federal income taxes, but I don't know of anybody who uses you guys and I can't find anything online. I've looked and tried to find some credibility for you guys, and obviously I think having you on here live is huge, that you're very open about everything and all that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know how many cases you guys have even fought. I know that you guys have said you've never lost a case, but if you've only had one case, obviously it's not as impressive. My biggest thing is just what are some ways that I can help reassure my wife and have some reinsurance myself of ways that going with you guys is a good, insurance against the IRS, that, they won't take away my business and all of our money that I'm earning and all that kind of stuff.
Well, step 4, you got to check that out. Step 4 is the myth of the IRS Godzilla is exposed. They're a lizard with no firepower. If you don't file,
right?
If you stop putting a rope around your neck under penalty of perjury, and our victories are listed there. No student of Freedom Law School has ever gone to prison for federal taxes, nor had their paycheck or bank account levied, or home or business seized by the IRS, as long as they came to me clean and stopped filing and paying income taxes with Freedom Law School first. So you go inside step 4 and see many examples of our student victories actual victories. You'll see it. You see my own victories and student victories. They're there. Now, many of the victories, by the way, are before the year 2012. And the reason is because IRS stopped coming after non-filers. Increase. So I don't have a lot of newer victories. I have a lot less of those because the better victory is if you don't file, they'll leave you alone, basically. Okay, 99+%. So you can see all these victories also. So what you want to do is have her go through the 7 steps. That's the key. Step 1 is, of course, the most fundamental step, which is the law is on your side. We urge you to follow the law, okay? And it's all based on the U.S. government's official legal websites, right? So that's step 1. Most people watch that, but that's not enough for you to really feel comfortable. Step 2 is about not filing 1040 forms. Why? Filing is the dangerous thing, not filing. They have you believe that the dumbest thing to do when you put the rope around your neck, signing a 1040 form, on a penalty of perjury, you confess that you owe the IRS money, is a safe thing to do. Just like your medical doctors and nurses were brainwashed to tell you, get the jab, get the corona vaccine. That's a safe thing to do. You got to educate your wife. Watch step 2 videos on why it's the opposite. That is why it is step 2. She needs to understand, oh no, I've been lied to once again. It's filing that 1040 form that gives the IRS the power to rape me and my family, steal my stuff, put me and my family, put me in prison. Okay? That's the key thing that people are missing usually. Okay? Then after going to step 2, then you get further confirmation you'll be fine if you go to step 3 and realize the IRS operates on deception and bluff, just like the Wizard of Oz. With the major media's help, they portray this image of, oh, you'll be in trouble if you don't file. File that 1040 form before Wizard of Oz eats you up alive. The IRS destroys you. You got to see that psychology job they did on you, how they, programmed you with the media, with corrupt, charismatic preachers. They push your fear button, the adoration of government. They tell you to pay your taxes, repeatedly drubbing your head, get the vaccine, get the jab to be safe, right? It's all a propaganda war with the jab. So is with income tax for a lot longer. I cover step 4, take courage from my victories. I cover step 5, question authority. Okay, write petitions to your congressman. Step 6, join the Restore Freedom Plan. You do the same thing that America's founding fathers did. They got together. Okay? Rather than going alone against the king, they got together. There's power in numbers. And so when you join other great truth and freedom-loving Americans like yourself, Jacob, you'll be in good shape because you're not there alone. Okay? Ben Franklin told America's founding fathers, gentlemen, we must hang together, or else we shall hang separately. So that's how the Restore Freedom Plan works. Okay? And then, of course, at the end, I suggest you love everybody you know, your family members, okay, your employees if you have any, okay, your customers even, okay, love and spread the truth. Tell them about all this so they have a chance, opportunity to choose truth. Choose being educated versus ignorant. Choose being free versus slave. They don't have a choice. Your friends and family members, folks, have no choice to be free until you love them and offer to them. Even though many of them will be brainwashed and afraid, will not even look at anything, Because they're going to think, oh, IRS, oh no, I don't want to be a martyr, all kind of stuff like that. But give them a chance. The only way guarantee for them to be slave is for you not to talk to them. So talk to them. Give them our brochures, text them, email them, our website. Okay? So does that help you with that question, Jacob?
Yeah, it does. And if you have time, I have one more really quick question.
Sure.
Okay. Last one is, so I'm not as worried because my wife works a W-2 job, and I'm not as worried about her not paying taxes as she does not make as much money as I do with my new business. I more just want to get her comfortable with me not paying taxes, as I did not file taxes this year, and she did. So my thing is, do you have any advice if she just is never comfortable with it, and she just always wants to pay her taxes? I would rather not fight over something like that. I'd rather her feel comfortable, even if I will obviously try to get her to convince her that it's wrong to pay the income taxes. But if she never does, do you have any advice on how to, file separately where she keeps filing and I don't? Is there any sort of measures that we need to take to make sure that our funds don't cross, I guess I can call it?
She can do that. She can file and confess and put the rope around her neck, 1040 confession form. Okay, she can do that. Okay, and have your separate bank accounts, separate home ownership, everything have to be separate. That's fine, because you don't want to be in trouble based upon her 1040 confession form that she files. Take her 1040 form, last year she filed. Say, hey, look at this. It says you signed this under penalty of perjury. What does that mean? Let's look it up online. You thought it was a harmless signature, wasn't it? Right? Show her that. So show what I show step 2 on her own 1040 form. I suggest you wine and dine your beautiful young bride. One evening, get her the best dinner she wants. Most women I know, they want some like Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, some steakhouse, Longhorn, whatever. Bring it in. Bring the great food she likes. Wine and dine her. And say, honey, let's take a look at this together. I love you. I want your attention. I need your input if I'm wrong. We are together as one. I want you to correct me. And have her watch the stuff. Step 2 is critical. I realized years ago when I was talking to this friend of mine, he says, Peymon, I know you're probably right about this stuff, about no law, but I'm still going to do the same thing and file anyways. That's like saying, oh, Peymon, all the stuff you say about Corona being a whole hoax and lie, everything, all that stuff, yeah, you're probably right, but I'm still going to follow the advice of my doctor and get the jab anyways. What do you do with that?
Right.
You educate them. You that's why I put step 2 together. I said, oh my gosh, Peymon, you didn't realize that? People are being brainwashed to believe it's safer to file than not file. You got to hammer that step 2 first, really good, before you go to next steps. Let us see how most people that go to prison are filers. So you've seen some of my videos, Jacob, but obviously not. You've seen step 1 videos or maybe random ones. Jacob, do the 7 steps on our website in order. Don't go random video watching. Start with step 1, step 2, bring it along with you. Do it that way, okay? And that way you'll know it. It should bring it along with you. Do just on step 1, maybe a couple of short videos. One will do. After step 1, the first video, okay, that's enough. Go step 2. Focus on step 2 about filing being dangerous. Okay, and then she'll open up her mind. Then she'll say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize filing is so dangerous. Well, but what if I don't file? They may come after me for that, right? Then step 3 comes in and the following steps. All right, Jacob?
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you helped you, young man, and congratulations for having your own business and a beautiful bride and a baby, all at a young age. And you know what? What do you do, by the way? What kind of field of work are you involved with, Jacob?
I started a mobile mechanic business.
Great.
So I travel around fixing cars.
Oh, man. Listen, you're in a great place to make a lot by referring people to us. At the end of every one of your customers, okay, give them one of our brochures, brother, Jacob, and let them be. Some people want to say, oh, I've been looking for something like this. I've heard about this kind of stuff. I'm glad you told me about this. Yes, some will talk to you that way right off the bat. Some people say, they're taking to be afraid and just put it aside. But give them a chance. Because you, as a mobile mechanic, you meet new people on a regular basis. So you're in a great position to make actually more, potentially, by your mobile mechanic business is the way to bring you in front of people with money. Because poor people can't afford mobile mechanics. They got to be at least middle class, if not richer, to pay for a mobile mechanic. These people got more money. On the average, they're more intelligent than poor people. They're more conscious about the money. They want to save and invest. They pay attention more about these things. They don't get to be rich by being stupid, most of them. Okay? So when you tell them about get more money in your pocket, guess what? Their ears will perk up very likely. All right, Jacob?
Okay.
All right,
Thank
my
you,
friend.
sir.
Thank you for calling, brother. I appreciate you. Let's put the number on the screen one more time for everybody, because I think we're done with everybody, but let's make sure that we answered everyone's questions before we end the Freedom Hour. We have a 602 area code caller, right? I don't think we took the 602 area code caller. Yeah, we do have him, yeah. 602 area code caller. You are next, my friend. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi. My first name is Jane, and I heard about you from Dr. Lee Merritt. You were on her show.
And how may I help you?
Oh, so I have a question. I stopped filing this year, and I wondered if that affects my Social Security when I go to collect.
Nope.
No? Okay. That was my only question, because I have a special needs son, and they recalculate his disability when I retire.
Well, you're fine. And I suggest,
okay.
How old are you, Jane?
I'm 63.
Okay, all right, yeah. So, no, it doesn't. You can still collect Social Security if you want to. Your son, special needs, he can do that. That doesn't affect by you. They will not take it away from you if you don't file. That will not happen. You're good. Okay?
Oh, good. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. The number to call, one more chance if you have a question, call 424-552-1299. A telephone keypad, you press 1, and you will be next with a question getting answered. The number is 424-552-1299. And then on your telephone keypad, press 1, and you be the next, so you get your question answered. We have a lot of people also on the chat have questions. Any of these questions, guys, I should address up there in the chat. I think we're good. Anything you guys see worthy of discussion or mentioning up there? If so, let me know, because I got some of my people answering some questions for you guys online. Yeah, which ones? Okay, Farm Boy 67. Okay. So here's a question online. Farm Boy 67 says, "Get serious, Freedom Law School. When one does not file and partner means file and pay, I think. Does file that creates a serious divide in the marriage, and to assume it will not is just not preparing for what might happen." Okay, well, here's the thing. Farm Boy 67. Every marriage is different. Okay? Just like every human being is different. Every relationship is different. I'm not assuming that your spouse is going to want to be free like you. I'm not assuming your wife is not afraid. Well, that's possible. Absolutely. That's a reality. And yes, we do have members who the spouse has not joined. I wish the spouse would join, but everybody at the end has free agency, choice to make what they want to do with their life. As much as I wish everybody to be educated, informed, and empowered, hey, a lot of people choose to remain ignorant. We talked about the jab. Don't take a corona jab. Right? Top of our lungs. But some people didn't listen. They took the corona jab and got hurt or died. Do I deny that reality? Of course not. That's just the way it is. But it doesn't mean you should give up and not love people and not expose them to the truth and give them a chance. Okay? And at the end, the spouses can go do their own thing on taxes. There's like one spouse likes to go fishing and hunting, and the other one likes to go watch soap operas. That's their choice. You have different interests, different preferences. So no, I'm not denying reality. It's just the way it is. But love your spouse and give them the opportunity to be educated and be free as well. Okay? Do you have any questions up there that you guys want to address, highlight? Okay, is this common law? Pair deeds address, is this common law? It has nothing to do with common law. Okay? There's a lot of baseless legal theories out there. Common law versus yellow fringe admiralty, French flag, they name it all capital letters, UCC, Uniform Commercial Code arguments, birth certificate arguments, strawman arguments, revocation of election. They claim that you are a state citizen or U.S. national, not a U.S. citizen. There's all that stuff out there. No, everything Freedom Law School teaches is based upon U.S. government's official legal websites. The Constitution, federal tax law, regulations, and Supreme Court decisions. That is it. That's about the law. That's all we rely upon. And the 1040 form instructions and 1040 itself. We do that agrees with what we say. So no, it's not common law. Now, another question from Ray Zap 80. How do retirees navigate income tax if collecting Social Security and withdrawing from IRAs? Can we follow the same protocol? It's very simple. It has no relationship with your Social Security you're getting, with you filing and paying income taxes. It doesn't affect it. And withdraw from the IRA, individual retirement account, go ahead. It's your money. Leave it there if you want, or take it out. Now, if you want to have a safety guarantee behind you, that if you take your money out of the IRA, the IRS will come take your money, required to file and pay income tax, take your money. Well, guess what? Then you may want to consider the Restore Freedom Plan with our guarantee. Okay? If you have a spirit of freedom, if you're willing to contribute to the cause of freedom for you, your children, and grandchildren that you love as a retiree, okay? Don't give the thieves your money. 30% of what you would have paid the IRS. But go to the Restore Freedom Plan, you get to keep 70% for your family and yourself. So you can do that, no problem. All right? Hope that helps you. All right, I think that's it. That's all the questions we have. And I don't see online anybody else with any more questions to ask either, okay? Very good. Thank you. Oh, good. Thank you, Razap 80. I'm here for you guys. You guys can ask questions on social media and typing also. I'll address them. Oh, here's another question from Cares Bear. I did not file for 19, but filed for 20 through 24. For 24, I am owed a refund, but they send a notice 63 holding refund saying to file for 19 or explain why I'm not required. That's a perfect explanation of the IRS. They're such greedy people. Here's Harrisburg, okay? When he files, the IRS says, we will not give a refund until you file for the old year also. Okay? Just stop filing altogether, Harrisburg. Stop filing. Go to your job and stop the income tax stealing, withholding from your paycheck for free. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org. On the top of the page, on the right menu comes up, drop-down menu. Go to free yourself from tax withholding. Okay? Click on there. Stop this stealing from your paycheck. So you no longer have to file that 1040 confession form and get some of that money back. Problem solved. So, 2014, let them go. Okay? That's, you're going to chase them, a few dollars, you should stop the withholding or stealing from your paycheck to begin with. See, when I have this problem, I'll try and get some of that money back. All right? Let's see. Gloria says, how do I respond to a letter from IRS that I need to file my 2023 taxes? I'm a W-2 employee claiming exemption. Very simple. The letter you got from the IRS is a dumb, computer-generated, automated junk mail. Nobody at the IRS, Gloria, is watching you, waiting for you to respond and file. There's nobody there saying, hey, the letter went out to Gloria to file, she didn't file. Charlie, David, Susan, Abdul, let's go after her. Let's go after the Gloria. She didn't respond to our letter. No, they don't do that. The letter just meant to scare you. Because you see, IRS says name, address, and that, the bird, scares you. Just ignore that. Doesn't matter. If they want to come after you, by law, they must put a tax proposal to you and give you an opportunity to challenge it in U.S. tax court, which they do not want to do. They very, very rarely do, because it costs them a lot of money and time and personnel to conduct a tax trial just for some money from you. So no, you'll be fine if you simply ignore that letter. It means nothing, Gloria. All right, any other question? Okay, Area 71 says, they owe me money, but I had to file to get it. Okay? So I stopped filing and took the last time loss. It was like $3,000. They owe me, but I walked away. Took that last time loss. Exactly, Area 71. Let it go. Stop the stealing, okay, of your paycheck. You can do it for free at freedomlawschool.org. And tell your coworkers, everybody. Tell your coworkers, hey, go to freedomlawschool.org. You can go to stop income tax stealing from your paycheck. Give it that first. Then follow up with our brochure. Okay. Okay. Right now, inflation is killing working people. Working poor, middle class, upper middle class. Everybody's hurting. Wages are not keeping up with inflation. Okay? So they all need a pay raise to pay off their debts, have some savings and investment. Most people don't have it. So they would love to stop income tax stealing from the paycheck by the employer. It's available for free at freedomlawschool.org. So please, love your coworkers. They're going to love you, okay? And then, again, we send these brochures for free. Restore Freedom brochures we send to you at no charge, and we'll pay you, okay, if you join once they join because of you, okay? If you don't join first, we'll give you credit toward your membership first. All right? Okay, we have another question from S. Bunch of T's. Can you provide more detail on Freedom Law School students who have recently received notice of deficiency letters? Were they high-income earners or $400,000? Any other details you could provide for peace of mind? Oh, yeah. That's kind of a funny issue you brought up. I've seen 1, 2, 4 cases. One was somebody that had a very bad separation, divorce from a spouse, who and they actually reported him to the IRS. And this guy made more money. Okay, he was, he made maybe a couple $100,000 a year, perhaps. Okay, that's one. Another one was a guy that, let me see. Oh, one of our old students. They came after him from way back then with some old, case from way back then, and then they come after him again for some newer years. That's the second one. And that one is a 1 year of them is kind of maybe they claim he made maybe, I don't know, more than $200,000. The other years were kind of smaller. Several years were small. But funny thing is, I couldn't believe this in my eyes. We got some people, like a couple. The IRS came after him, right? And even though they're separate, they're such small amounts. They came after this one with such a small amount, and the other one smaller amount. Combined is only about $1,000. It's like, how dumb are these IRS's computer programmers? Why are they wasting their time coming after these two individuals, married couple, separately for only about $1,000 when they were told by the U.S. Treasury, by heads of IRS, come after people, everybody, but non-filers who make over $400,000. Right? I mean, that makes more sense. The guy that makes $500,000 or $1 million or more, you're going to make good money out of them. Why even waste your postage and ink over a couple that would only owe you $1,000? Are you stupid? You keep complaining, IRS, you don't have enough resources to come after non-filers. Okay then, focus the resources on the rich non-filers. But IRS is so incompetent, so broken, so lazy that they cannot and do not do that. In fact, if you go to our step 3, you realize the IRS operates on bluff and deception. I got to think about that, okay? You see there was a report by by U.S. Treasury inspectors, that the IRS, that was 2020 report. The label of this report from the U.S. Treasury auditors was high-income non-filers owing billions of dollars are not being worked by the IRS. This is about 5-year-old report. So here, IRS refuses to go after extremely rich non-filers. Treasury auditors gave the IRS a list of 100 richest income tax non-filers, who each would owe the IRS about $100 million. Not $100,000, $100 million each. I recommended to the IRS to go after these people for taxes. The IRS is so broken, disorganized, lazy, and irresponsible that the IRS refused in writing to commit to going after these extremely rich, high-income non-filers without getting more resources. Okay, and now with Doge and Trump, calm down IRS's work by like 20%, 20,000. Okay, having less workers. Even though a lot of them are lazy, they don't do much, but still, that's going to just be a nice caboose karate chop in the back of the IRS's necklace down. Just like Corona Hoax was the caboose karate chop IRS's neck. So this is great. That's the experience. But I think that's going to come to a stop, I suspect, that the very minor few people could come after because they're under attack by Trump administration at the top, and from the bottom we are exposing their incompetence and their lack of power over you. So people like you there's more of you not filing. There's probably not 80 but 90 million non-files nowadays. Okay? All right. Any other questions, guys? We got anybody? Everybody's good? All right, brothers and sisters. Remember, tell your co-workers, family members, call us. These brochures, Restore Freedom brochures, are yours for free to pass them out to people you know. We'll be happy to pay you, thank you, love you, acknowledge you for your work of exposing American people to the truth. Give them a chance to live free and prosperous like you. Thank you for being with me. I'll be back with you guys next Tuesday night.